It is the 11th day of May in the month of May. Yes, like I said, 2021. Good morning, Africa. Welcome to a brand new day right here on News Central.
Good morning, Africa. Yes, indeed, it's Breakfast Central on News Central. I am Olisa Chukuma.
And I am Oluchi Inobong. Let's begin the headlines that we have for you today. Kazungula Bridge to bring economic independence to Africa.
We'll take you to Nigeria, where suspected robbers and armed men invaded the presidential villa in Abuja.
Labour Union oppose move to cut salaries by the federal government, still in Nigeria.
The impact of COVID-19 on religious and traditions in Kenya. More of that on the program today.
And the latest trends on the African continent right here.
Also, South African rand gained strength for the first time in 16 months. We'll tell you how.
News Central TV.
Right, and you're watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Let's begin the show with our top stories, and this time it's all about the big one. The African Union chairperson and president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, yesterday officially opened the 923-meter long bridge called the Kazungula Bridge in Zambia. The construction of started back in November 2015 after the groundbreaking ceremony was held in the Botswana side of the Kazungula border. Now, our correspondent Lydia Makina tells us more.
The Kazungula Bridge and one-stop border project was officially launched by the President of Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, notwithstanding the benefits coming forth with international free trade. The project constitutes roads and a railway bridge over the Zambezi River connecting two countries, Zambia and Botswana. Speaking at the event, Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa has congratulated the two presidents for the accomplishment of the project.
The capable stewardship of my great friends and colleagues and brothers, President Masisi and President Lungu, for the wonderful work and the spirit of cooperation they have exhibited.
And Magwezi Masisi from Botswana, the co-host of the event, said the Kazungula Bridge will have a job creation for SADC countries. President Masisi said the bridge has raised expectation of people from different countries, for it will be used by many.
I've enjoyed since the colonial era. Very close to the place where we are, for those of you who do not know, used to be one of the only very few rare, safe getaway places for refugees from neighboring countries. Because Botswana, at independence, was surrounded by white minority-ruled, hostile, draconian, colonial, arrogant monsters.
And Zambian Republican President, the host for the event, said the people of Zambia have worked tirelessly for the project to be accomplished. President Lungu had since thanked all countries that came on board, working together and making Africa great.
And perseverance during the construction phase. I also render special recognition to government ministries and agencies from both Botswana and Zambia that played various roles in the construction of this marvel of bridge.
Lydia.
Moving on from the Kazungula Bridge, we're coming back to Nigeria as we hear that the labor unions in Nigeria have opposed a move by the federal government to cut salaries of civil servants as well as a number of federal agencies. Now, the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, that is Zainab Ahmed, had said the government was working to reduce the high costs of governance by cutting the salaries of civil servants as well as the number of federal agencies.
Now, the unions caution the federal and state governments against any bid to slash workers' salaries on the excuse of the economy. Now, our correspondent Ijoma Esek tells us more on the story.
I am pleased to note that most Nigerians...
Nigeria's government is facing public backlash following allegations that salaries of civil servants will be slashed. The allegations can be traced to a statement by the main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, which cited intelligence reports that the federal government is planning to slash the salaries of workers because of economic reasons. The PDP described the alleged plans as wicked and completely unacceptable. This has led to a salary comparison with other African nations. The minimum wage for public workers in Egypt, for instance, is 2,400 Egyptian pounds. It comes to over 50,000 naira. In South Africa, it's 4,230 rand, which comes to 115,000 naira, compared to Nigeria's 30,000 naira minimum wage. The Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions described the alleged plans as insensitive, provocative, and inciting, while urging the government to halt the plan. Organized labor has also condemned and rejected the alleged plan.
Even before we finalized the negotiation of minimum wage, inflation has begun to rise on a daily basis. And what does that mean? It means even the 30,000 minimum wage can do nothing. In fact, it's not even enough to rent a house for Nigerian workers when you compare people living in Lagos, FCT, and some other major cities. So we are in serious trouble.
However, the All Progressives Congress has debunked the allegation, saying the Buhari administration is committed to the welfare of Nigerian workers. The origin of the allegation can be traced to the government's resolve to implement an ICPC report which recommended a reduction in the size of government.
Still Breakfast Central, and we're still in Nigeria, where armed men suspected to be robbers yesterday invaded the residences of two senior aides of the President Muhammadu Buhari inside the precinct of the presidential villa, and this raises fears that the rising insecurity across the country was drawing closer to the elites than previously estimated.
Now, the incident prompted Ibrahim Gambari and Abubakar Meikano, the chief of staff and the admin officer, respectively, to abandon their residences. Now, the robbers packed money and other valuable assets. Now, Abuja-based correspondent Ahmadi joins us now alongside our chief researcher, Abdul Latif. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good morning to you, Ahmadi. Right, good morning. Right,
good morning.
Okay, let's begin with you, Ahmadine. You're in Abuja, where this is clear, where the presidential villa is, the capital city. And what do you know at the moment concerning the robbery incident inside the presidential villa?
Okay, for many of us, the information came to the limelight after this senior special assistant on media and publicity to President Muhammadu Buhari, Garba Shehu, released a statement confirming that the incident was true. He quoted what Ibrahim Gambari, who said that his house
robbers attempted to burgle his house around 3 a.m. And now they try to downplay the issue. But for many of us in Abuja who cover security, there are 3 fundamental issues that have come up. First of all, it's a reflection of the current insecurity around the country. The insecurity situation is getting worse. It has reached a crisis level. Secondly, it tells you that those who would easily resort to crime, if they are becoming more and more desperate, to attempt to burgle a facility within the premises of the presidential villa, for many of us before now would have thought it was suicide. But for them to have thought about it, because you can't even access those areas, they are highly secured areas. Then the last point tells us that for those Nigerians who think they have the financial capacity, who think they have built a cocoon around themselves, an empire around themselves and their families, thinking that they will be insulated and protected from the current insecurity crisis, is telling us that it's getting home and it's coming closer to everyone. So it is high time for even the high and mighty to begin to think that, see, we need to do something. It's not just the poor that is going to be suffering, because Abuja is a funny city. The rich are the most protected. The rich are those that have access to even government facilities that are meant to be for the poor. So you see, there is a divide, a great divide between the rich and the poor. But now, concerning insecurity, they are not, concerning insecurity, criminals are not looking at this distinction anymore.
Wow. Ahmadine said quite a lot. I mean, Lateef, taking a cue from what Ahmadine says, it's a typical narrative of the rich also cry. But Lateef, how would you describe this development at this time?
Well, on hearing what has happened, it was very disturbing, very unsettling. However, it is not surprising. It is not surprising because you will have to look at the government's response to threats in the past and consider what has happened now. For instance, same yesterday that this incident was confirmed, we did hear that some persons were rescued from the hands of bandits in Katsina State, about 30 of them. The question is, this rescue operation, was it by handshake? Was it, were the bandits shot? Were they apprehended? Nothing of such was, communicated to the masses. It is the same way you look at the insecurity in the villa or the recent incident of attempted burglary into the residence of the presidential aides. What happened recently in Niger State about Boko Haram members being present in Niger State would ordinarily have made the federal government to respond in a way that you know that it responds to crime and criminality, in a very decisive manner. But it has not shown, there has been no military campaign against these supposed insurgents that we've been fighting in the Northeast before now. So for someone who will not respond to criminality or who will not respond to miscreants, around the precinct of the FCT, for example, then you will not be surprised that such a thing can happen. However, from the feelers have it that it is unlikely that such thing will happen, considering the number of units. I mean, what happened to the CCTVs, for example? What happened to the units where you have security formations, where they are asleep? What really happened? So unless they are able to tell us what happened, were they apprehended? If there was an attempted burglary, were those people who attempted this burglary, were they apprehended? Or were they just, asked to go away and then we return to normalcy? So it is difficult to believe, and not because we do not know about the insecurity across the country, but because most times the communication is not properly communicated. It's not properly passed on to the people. If there was an attempted burglary, then what? Where were those people? Were they apprehended?
Yeah, you just talked about, communication, and this brings me back to Ahmadine, Abuja-based correspondent. The villa, the presidential villa, is perhaps the most secured building in the country, arguably. But what does this, breach in security of the attempted burglary or perhaps burglary with those, senior people in the government that they have to vacate their premises? What does it then communicate to Nigerians right now? That is our presidential villa.
First of all, let me paint the exact scenario so you really understand how it is. It's not the actual presidential villa. Now, there are buildings surrounding the presidential villa, which are around the pre-armed zone. These are part of the villa, but not inside the main villa complex where the president stays. Now, these adjoining buildings are buildings where very senior aides that will work with Mr. President, who can be called at any time, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. You can just be called, head into the villa, Mr. President, we need your help. Now, it is one of those buildings that was attacked, not actually the main facility where Mr. President stays. But when you talk about communication, just like we say, that singular act will embolden other people that if the presidential villa, one of those buildings, because they all still form part of the presidential villa, why the main facility is called the State House, where the president says, if that's even as a journalist, you can't enter there. You have to, when you are driving in, you meet personnel of the Department of State Security who you have to identify yourself before you go in. Now, if people, for criminal minds, they will say, if our colleagues can enter here and steal, because this is supposed to be the creme de la creme of government. If they can enter here, even if it's not armed robbery, if they can enter here and burgle, then it is possible to breach this security. But Latif has asked, those places, they are meant to be CCTV cameras. Those places, they are meant to be highly secure. The big question people will be asking, how does those burglars breach the whole security and enter those houses and try to steal such that the aides had to be evacuated? These are questions that Nigerians will be asking, and we hope that in the next couple of days, the presidency will come out very clear to Nigerians, because the fear many Nigerians will have is that if they can do this to
All right, I suppose we still have Ahmadine, but okay, Latif, what your summations right now? We just got Ahmadine's words from Abuja, but from a Lagos point of view, from a security point of view, where do we go from here with this?
So it's up to the government to be open and honest with the masses, because where you need help, you have to seek for help. However, where you do not help the masses do not even have any sympathy for whatever happens. Because remember, there was an alarm some days ago about an attempted break-in into jails, and another alarm about the fact that there was an attempted coup, on the government. And so now that we have this, it's either the government wants sympathy for its underwhelming performance, or it's simply throwing in the towel, because it keeps happening all the time.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Abdul Latif Ahmed from News Central's Research and Monitoring Desk, and Abuja-based correspondent and Bureau Chief Ahmadine Uyi for coming on Breakfast Central. Thank you very much again, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's carry on with the program. More top stories right here on Breakfast Central.
As we step outside Africa, we're bringing you more stories around the continent. Now, as various sectors of the society continue to experience disruption resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic, religious traditions and festivals have not been spared either. Now, in Kenya, the previous culture of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, where people gathered to enjoy together, pray together, and even dress for the occasion, was affected last year as authorities enforced strict regulations.
Fortunately, the situation has improved this year as restrictions were eased, bringing back the Ramadan and Eid traditions. Now, as the period of Ramadan comes to a close, traders have expressed optimism for sales and massive turnout for the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Now, from the city of Mombasa, Kenya, News Central correspondent Abdunor Aden brings this report for us.
Away from the garments and to the streets, the foodstuff for breaking the fast are now back on the streets with different delicacies decorating, ready to be served to the Muslim faithfuls in this town. This sunny city of Mombasa has also gotten back its nightlife during Ramadan. traffic snarl-ups and busy roads make it hard to tell the difference between day and night.
It's just after the opening of the iftar or the breaking of fast here in Mombasa, Kenya's coastal city. But it's the start of the nightlife in this city, a life that was lost in the previous year, 2020, as the government put in place measures to control the spread of COVID-19. This year, however, the public are back and enjoying the nightlife that they have been enjoying for ages and generations, giving them a Ramadan that they've been known to in this city, sharing and enjoying together, going for shopping later in the evenings, and even for the women, going outside after a long day of preparing the meals for their families.
Places of worship which the Kenyan government previously ordered shut down for most parts of the previous year, and even set in place strict measures, have been opened to the amazement of the public for this Ramadan. Nearly all the mosques are filled to the brim. Apart from the shops that sell male products, business places that target women like this shop here are also back to life. Sabria Abdullah, the shop owner, is very happy and optimistic for this Eid.
Last year, to be honest, it was very, very hard for us. It was very tough for us. We went to purchase goods for Ramadan and everything. And when we came back, we had lockdown, everything was closed. All the shops were closed. The old town and everything with shopping, it was dead. It was very down. But this time, alhamdulillah, people are coming for shopping, they're buying abayas, they're roaming around, everything is free, alhamdulillah. We thank God for everything. As Muslims and our business, like the whole year, we depend Ramadan. So we were targeting Ramadan. Like we also do business every day, but Ramadan is the main thing. So we always target Ramadan. So alhamdulillah, this year we are hoping for the best. It's already successful, alhamdulillah, and we are still hoping for the best, inshallah.
All eyes are now on the Eid festivities, and whereas everyone here expresses optimism for this holy month of Ramadan and the Eid festivities, the authority here calls for adherence to safety protocols to help the government contain the spread of the virus.
All right, so quite an interesting report from our East Africa correspondent from Kenya, Abdunor Arden, as the Muslims in Kenya are marking the Ramadan holy month and culminating into the Eid celebrations this weekend.
Yes, I mean, it's not just in East Africa, the whole of Africa and even the world at large. This is the month of Ramadan, and a lot of them are looking forward to the end because we're just less than 48 hours to go for the complete end of the Ramadan
and they seem
fast
to be quite optimistic, unlike this time last year.
Yeah. This time last year, I don't think we even had to think about talking about the celebration or having a cause for celebration because we're in the heat of the pandemic in Nigeria here. I remember, this is May, yeah? So from March when the lockdown started to April, May, the numbers kept increasing for each day that came, and everybody was so scared. I know I was paranoid with my children, with my family, wondering what is going to happen next. Are we coming to the end of the world? That was 2020 anyway.
But this is 2021.
Yes.
Right then, it's still Breakfast Central. You're watching right here on News Central. It's now time to see the papers today, May 11, 2021. What do they have on a newspaper review? All right, let's look at the morning paper, shall we? And we're starting out in East Africa with Uganda's Daily Monitor. That's the paper we're going, Uganda's Daily Monitor. And there you have it. It's the man of the hour himself. Is getting ready for another swearing in, basically. Museveni eyes 40 years. Says 4 decades for many youth. They have never seen a different president, as it were, in their time. And that period, now President Museveni has outlined clearly has outlasted many world leaders. So there you have it. It's more like a timeline reading on the Daily Monitor paper this morning about Museveni from 1986, 1996, 2001, 2006, 2011, 2016, and 2021, including the kind of opposition he's faced in terms of winning the presidential tickets and returning to power. So there you have it on the front page of the Daily Monitor in Uganda.
All right, from Uganda, we'll move straight on to Daily Trust in Nigeria. Of course, we have one of the stories we took here talking about Buhari's Chief of Staff's house boggled at Aso Rock. You'll find that on page 4 of the Daily Trust. Now, federal government sends officials to Ghana over traders' plight. You also have that out in the world of business as well. Still on the Daily Trust, NPA saga. PDP wants Amechi Adiza sacked, prosecuted. To take over probe, Reps Caucus tax EFCC. You have more details on the Daily Trust on that. I'm talking about the missing people. They said 10 people missing as 30 rescued from bandits in Castina. You also have that in the Daily Trust. Prison officers are facilitating jailbreak, says the minister. This is also in page 3 as well. You will see a picture right there. This is the Israeli security forces are seen during clashes with Palestinians at this was the mosque in Jerusalem just yesterday. Such a sad one, but you have more details. Also talking about IPOB plotting to attack Lagos, says 24 Yoruba separatist groups identified. More details.
That's according to the police. Right then, let's go down south. One of my favorite papers, the Sowetan in South Africa, to see what they have for us this morning. So it's all about Hobson's choice for ACE. So there you have it. The NEC order suspended ANC Secretary General, that's him there, to apologize publicly for his conduct post-suspension or face disciplinary action. So that's you have it on the front page of the Sowetan. And at the top there, quite a sad one. So that's a real big ditch on the road. So motorists drive with caution on the Kleperid Valley Road in Soweto, as you know, two sides of the lane in Johannesburg. Says stormwater infrastructure has collapsed, causing the road to cave in. So that's not okay. That's a real big ditch in the road. So it means motorists have to take to the other lane. Quite a sad story. I'm sure there'll be more on that subsequent bulletins right here on News Central. So you want to follow all about that. Also, you have teachers urged to take COVID-19 jab on page 5. And the love, passion, and flair shoe in for success. That's Matepolo Pitse does it herself. More on that on page 7 of the Sowetan.
All right, moving on to the Cameroon paper, we're talking about the Guardian Post this morning. Police arrest Kodengwin prisoner for attempting to dupe African leaders. Wow, you'll see this in the paper this morning. In the Western region, it's a suspected marijuana farmer and seller also arrested. We have more details. Another story we have here is the SDF pressures government to probe use of COVID-19 funds. So we have this story not only in Nigeria, we also have this similar situation in Cameroon as well. Economists warns delay in devolving powers, ticking time bomb. Wow. So it says in the Guardian Post this morning.
All right, so there you have it for the morning papers. We took you to Uganda with the Daily Monitor, the Sowetan in South Africa, the Daily Trust in Nigeria, and the Guardian Post in Cameroon. Well then, you are still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Coming up next on the program.
In business, South African rand strengthens to its 16-month roll. More details.
And the latest trends on the African continent with trend waves. You don't want to miss it.
And of course, we have more programs for you to watch right here on News Central.
News Central TV.
All right, you're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central TV. Don't forget, you can check us out on all our social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. That's at News Central TV. Now we're moving to the business segment, and we're still talking about the commissioning of the 923 meter long, 923 meter long, multi-million Kazungula Bridge. Some people are asking what and how this bridge will benefit the continent economy-wise?
Well, speaking about the economy and all things in between about it, both inside Africa and around the world, we're joined once again by financial analyst Tunji Andrews, who returns to breakfast this morning. Tunji, it's been a while. Welcome back to Breakfast Central.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure being here.
All right, Tunji. Now, we've seen the commissioning of, that bridge, quite a long one. Tell us quickly what, it means for the continent and how it will improve the north-south corridor.
So the one of the things about the southern part of Africa is I think they seem to be the most connected. Generally because of the demography and how they've been able to accommodate each other, mainly because everybody looks to South Africa in that region. But this is opening the south to the north, and it's a beautiful conversation that we are hoping that will bear more fruit. I think it is the beginning, at least it looks like the first monument that represents the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement in terms of the fact that we want to see a seamless conversation across Africa. So while of course it is just those countries that are being linked now, the conversations around the bridge, you could go from several countries to several countries in 1 hour. So if we can do that and channel that corridor between, say, a Nigeria and a Ivory Coast, for instance, that will be marvelous, because if you know the numbers, it looks like it's more expensive to visit some African countries than to go from an African country to an European country. So it's the beginning of hopefully more things to come.
All right.
All right. Now, Tunji, this bridge doesn't come cheap. I mean, the bridge cost a whopping $269.3 million. What does this figure actually tell us, Tunji?
It tells you how countries find trade important. What this bridge will do will multiply and dwarf that figure you just mentioned. Because trade needs to be seamless. I need to be able to go from one country to another, like I'm going from VI to Lekki, to go and drop my goods. That is the seamlessness of trade. And that is what African countries came to try and create that African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Is the reason why the EU was created, if you think about it. Trade is very important. I know that the African factor might have come into building this bridge, but let's look at the positives, because the positives far outweigh whatever negative there may be in terms of overspending on the bridge.
All right, Tunji, let's stay with this in southern parts of Africa, South Africa to be more precise, where the rand has strengthened to its strongest level against the dollar in 16 months, currently trading at 14 rand 0.05 to the dollar. Now, reports say this is mainly due to the weaker dollar after the U.S. jobs reports for April was weaker than expected, and the unemployment rate rose to about 6.1%. Now, what does this mean in South Africa right now?
I think a bit of respite. The rand has been dropping for a very long time. It's been a very sad scenario, especially because of the strength of the South African economy. It's one that it is supposed to do very well, although they've continued to have a lot of strikes around their mining sector, which of course is their own oil in South Africa. But I think generally South Africa shouldn't be in the position it is. The issues are temporal and structural. Once they can be able to get a lot of the trade disputes out of the way, the rand should continue to bounce back. But for now, it really is around the conversations around the dollar.
All right. Okay, Tunji, so just before we let you go, we need to take a look at what we have. Let's look at this. So Tunji, please tell me, is this how powerful the dollar is? Look at that little boy. He was crying and almost throwing tantrums as soon as he saw the dollar bills. He saw the Benjamins. Chicken. And then ching, ching. You need to, I mean, tell us really, is there really magic in that dollar bill that you're seeing there?
I think so. Anybody will stop crying seeing that pile of money, even if they're just $1 bills. Anybody will stop crying. I think it's an innate thing in every human being to chase money. But yeah, that boy just shows you that whenever you are, you need to continue chasing money.
Yeah, it's just so striking. Young or old, you know, babies or toddlers or adults like ourselves. We just tend to react differently to those dollar bills, don't we?
Exactly. The reactions are different. The older mothers and fathers will start praying. The younger children will stop crying. The middle-aged people would break into a dance. So yeah, it's the same reaction across board. It's just different expressions.
All right, thank you so much, Tunji.
The power of the dollar. I think Tunji, we don't think like the power of the dollar. Typical example of the power of the dollar. All right, Tunji Andrews, thank you so much once again for coming on Breakfast Central, for breaking it all down for us.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Right then, still to come right here on Breakfast Central on News Central. In sports, all about the Champions League final. Portugal or Wembley. Where will they play the final? We'll find out.
And we have more programs for you to watch on News Central. Go on. What's going on? Why are you blushing? You look like Teddy Bear.
Should we change the color behind her?
Yeah, because Latif used that color, yeah?
Yeah, let's use a different color behind Lizzie. If Joe can hear us.
Joe, can you hear us?
Can we use a different color behind her? Green, pink, red.
See my cheeks. They're so big. Hi. Hey.
You look like Teddy Bear now, Puff Puff. Don't worry, Elizabeth. After the show, we'll go to Alaya again, right? Oh, my goodness.
I'm laughing.
Wow, you're doing so well. COVID-19 is not even affecting you. Can you imagine? People are losing it. You are gathering it together, padding it up.
And in the right proportions, in the right areas.
You're part of the people that is making padded budget, so padded.
Why don't you stop it?
Well, thank you very much for watching. You're still watching News Central. Breakfast Central is the program. Now, yesterday, a certain Nigerian pastor was in the news. He was trending for a statement credited to him. For more on that story, we're joined by Elizabeth Musa. Lizzie has all the latest in terms of the trend wave. Lizzie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Olisa and Oluchi. I'm so glad to be here this morning. How are you guys doing?
Very well, Liz, and you look great.
Thank you so much. You guys look great too. Speaking about the dollar, first of all, it's better to actually be in a G-Wagon crying than to be in a Keke Napep. I saw the video where you guys were speaking to Tunji Andrews, and that was really amazing. I'd rather be in a G-Wagon crying than being in a Keke Napep.
So Lizzie, so you mean right now, as you're there right now, if you start going on a cry or a wail or a tantrum and we just can't dollar and give to you, you will stop
crying
on air.
By
right?
all means, please.
Okay, we'll work on that. But what's going on with the Nigerian pastor? What's the latest?
All right, so currently there are mixed reactions at this trending video of the popular pastor Paul Adefarasi circulating. The video, which was made at Sunday service on the 9th of this month in his mega city church, the House on the Rock Church in Lekki, Lagos, Pastor Paul advises Nigerians, after speaking on the state of the nation, to have a plan B, that is to make plans to exit Nigeria. As expected, it's a trailer load of mixed reactions as Nigerians dissect this comment. Let's take a look at this video.
Christ, I bring you greetings from Pastor Ifai, who's busy taking care of a frontier of our world and preparing our escape routes. If you don't have a plan B, I know you have faith, but I have faith too, but I have a plan B. And with technology, I can speak to you from anywhere in the world. Get yourself a plan B, whether that's an Okada to Cameroon, or a flying boat or speedboat as we call them, to Seme-Border, or, you know, a hole in the ground, a bunker. Get a plan B, because these people are crazy. They're nutters, the whole bunch of them.
Olisa, Oluchi, there you have it, guys. What do you make of this video?
Oh my God.
Plan B or what?
And that was from this Sunday, is it just Sunday?
Yeah,
Sunday
just
service?
2 days
Sunday,
ago.
2 days
Two
ago.
days ago that it happened. You know,
Wow.
it made a lot of people came out and were saying so much. And a lot of people even on social media were saying, if you're telling us to have faith, then why are you telling us to have faith and have a plan B? He
Yeah,
was just,
but
according to
I mean,
him,
this just shows the situation of things in the country right now. Like, lots of people are talking about how they want to, you know, everybody I meet every day speaking about plans to jackpot from Nigeria.
Hashtag
so, hashtag jackpot.
Because you know, it's no you know, small matter. Yes, the congregation might have taken it with a, you know, slap, you know, tongue in cheek, but you know, on social media, I think he was criticized, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some of the tweets people actually made in reaction to this. Now, this is one from Alex Oluwatobi. He says, if you think that Pastor Paul Adefarasi, what he said about leaving this country is wrong, then you are right. But I'm sure everyone with a working brain can see clearly that the government is cooking a meal that won't taste funny. Don't complain when you're served your portion. There's also another tweet which someone says, BMC boys want to start dragging Pastor Paul Adefarasi for his plan B comment. Is that not the prayers your parents pray for you daily? Is that not your own plan A? But I understand you must defend incompetence and wickedness to have your daily bread. Free Jackpot Hopeful. So apparently that's the name now, Jackpot Hopeful. So people are actually, this is a conversation going on, and it just shows what's going on. Unfortunately, Nigeria at the moment is facing many challenges. One of them is the increasing level of insecurity, the kidnappings on the rise, the high level of unemployment, poor healthcare, the decreasing value of the naira, among so many other things. So the question on the lips of many Nigerians is simple. Will it get any better than this? This is just the situation of things at the moment.
All right, Lizzie. So what's up next on the trend wave?
So on to more delightful news in Ghana, where yet again we see one of the positive sides of social media at play as a 28-year-old gentleman by name Nchui Bosiako, a second-class upper graduate of political science who had to take to car washing as a result of unemployment, has gotten social media a buzz. Before now, he used to work at the washing bay, which is a car wash, and he got the attention of Ghanaian media personality Nana Abba, who compassionately came on Twitter to post a video of the young man alongside his certificate, asking for a job for him. According to his words, he says, "I finished my national service and had no job." Let's take a look at this video.
Short story. That's my new friend's certificate from the University of Ghana. That's him washing the car. Someone referred him to me. So, here he is. Listen to his story.
I drove all the way to Agboba this morning to meet Nchui Bosiako. Nchui Bosiako graduated from the University of Ghana with a second degree upper in political science. And he's here working as a washing bay attendant.
Yeah, after my national service.
Where?
At Ghana Red Cross Society. There was no job. and out of pressure, I had to walk out and look for a job.
So you ended up at a washing bay?
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for 7 months now.
And you want a job?
6 to 7 months, yeah. I want a job, a good job. That I can use my skills, my analytical skills, the skills that I acquired in school. Yeah, that's why.
All right. So we'll try.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's the video right there. This is at a time when Ghana is still on the Fix the Country campaign. It just goes to show that it's not all bad news, because after she posted this video, which made the rounds, the good news is this guy has gotten lots of offers, lots of scholarship opportunities. And, you know, it just makes me understand why I really love social media and the beauty of social media. And when you want to use your social media, make sure you always use it for good. Make sure you use it for social change, which is what we see here. So it's still good news. It's still good news in Africa.
Wow. Well, good news from bad news, basically, unemployment.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Lizzie Michael, for that one.
Welcome,
the latest
Olisa.
on Trend Wave.
Oluchi. See you guys later.
Wow, oh my gosh. All right, we still have lots to come right here on News Central. So later today, you want to catch this.
10 a.m. West African time, we have the NC headlines.
All right, and sports in the game at 10:30 a.m.
And 9 p.m. West African time, we have NC Continental Prime.
All right then, so that's been quite a huge one today. Lots to cover in the world of, you know, business, news, politics across Africa. Although those reports, the Kazungula Bridge also being commissioned, and we had that report out there. Yeah. It's been quite a program, I have to say, today. Don't worry, there'll be lots of sporting things to catch up on much later on in the game at 10:30. They'll give you all the wrap-up, but we have to go.
We do have to go. Tomorrow's a public holiday in this part of the world. Yes,
wow.
We have tomorrow's a public holiday to end the Ramadan fasting. They've been fasting for 30 days.
So does it mean we don't have to come to work?
No, we're coming to work, boy. We're going to be here tomorrow. Look at you. I must see you here tomorrow. All right, see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. We'll be here West African time.
Bye-bye for now. Breakfast Central, Lisa and Oluchi signing out.